Hello and welcome to the Healed Women's Nation podcast. My name is Tejumade and I am your host. And this is a space where hearts are mended, faith is renewed, and women rise again through the power of God's love. Here we believe healing isn't just recovering, it is rediscovering. Rediscovering who you are and the light God placed inside you before life tried to dim it. So if you are here today, it is not by chance, it is divine timing. So I want you to take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's begin this journey together. One thing that I've realized is that sometimes life has a way of making you question your worth. Sometimes the people you loved deeply didn't love you the same way. Sometimes you give your loyalty, your care, your presence, only to realize that the love being returned didn't match what you were given. And that kind of experience can leave wounds or scars. Maybe you have loved someone who didn't feel the same way. Maybe you have tried to earn approval from your family. Maybe you have even shown up for friendships or communities that never truly showed up for you. If you have ever felt the pain of loving people who didn't love you the same way, then this conversation is for you. So today we are talking about the pain of loving people who don't love you the same way. And more importantly, how do we begin to heal from this emotional neglect that comes with it? Because unrequited love doesn't only happen in romance. Sometimes it happens in families. Sometimes it happens in friendships. It happens in spaces where we expected safety, like the church community. And the truth is, one-sided love can leave us deeply with emotional scars. But healing is something that is very, very possible. So let's start with the most obvious place people experience this, which is romantic relationships. Loving someone who doesn't feel the same way can be incredibly painful. You care deeply about them, you make room for them in your life, you prioritize them. Sometimes you even put their needs before your needs. But slowly you begin to realize that the energy that you are giving is not the same energy you are receiving. You are always the one reaching out, always the one trying, always the one hoping they will eventually see your value. And when someone you care about doesn't return that love that you give, it can shake your confidence. You start to ask yourself difficult questions. Questions like, did I do something wrong? Am I not beautiful or handsome enough? Am I too much? Or did I imagine the connection? But here is an important truth. Love is not something you should have to earn through exhaustion. Healthy love recognizes your value without you constantly trying to prove it. Another painful form of unrequited love happens inside families. It can look like a daughter who is trying to earn a mother's approval, or someone who grew up hoping that their father would eventually see them, affirm them, or express their pride about what they are doing, or pride in them generally. And it can look like being present in a family where basic needs were provided or emotional connection was missing. And emotional neglect can be very confusing because from the outside, everything may look like it is normal, but internally, there is a deep longing to feel seen, to feel understood, to feel valued. And when that need goes unmet for years, it can leave wounds that follow us into adulthood. So, unrequited love can also appear in friendships. You may be that friend who is always showing up, the one who listens, the one who remembers birthdays, the one who supports others during difficult seasons. But when you need that same support, it is not there. And over time, that imbalance can begin to hurt. And this can also happen in communities, including church spaces. You might pour your time out, your service, and your heart into people, yet somehow you feel invincible. You feel like you are constantly giving but rarely receiving. And this can make people quietly withdraw into their shell, because being surrounded by people who don't being surrounded by people does not always mean that you are supported by them. And when you constantly experience one-sided love, something subtle begins to shift inside of you. You may begin to lower your expectations for how people treat you, or don't even have any form of expectations for people at all. You stop expressing your emotional needs. You convince yourself that maybe you are asking for too much. But slowly that pattern can damage how you see yourself, how you view you as a person. You begin to internalize other people's inability to love well. But someone's inability to love deeply does not always mean you are difficult to love. Sometimes it simply means that their emotional capacity is limited. This is why the Bible reminds us in Proverbs 4, verse 23. It says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding your heart doesn't mean becoming cold or distant rather, sorry. It means becoming wise about where your love is poured. One of the most difficult but healing realization in life is this: some people cannot love you the way you need to be loved, not because you're unworthy, but because their capacity is limited. And once you begin to accept that truth, something begins to shift. You stop exhausting yourself trying to earn what should be freely given. You stop chasing validation. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces where you were never fully seen. Acceptance doesn't mean bitterness, it simply means seeing reality clearly. So now, healing from one-sided love takes intentional work. Like, you have to be very, very intentional and deliberate about your healing journey or process. And the first step is acknowledging the hurt. Oh, this person has hurt me. This group of people have hurt me. My friend has done this. My friend has done that. And pretending it didn't affect you only pushes the pain deeper. The second step is separating your worth from how people treat you. Someone's inability to show up for you does not define your value. And the third step is grounding your identity somewhere stable. For people of faith, that stability comes from understanding that our worth is not determined by human approval. Psalms 34 verse 18 reminds us and says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. That means God is not distant from your pain. He sees the moment when you felt overlooked. He sees the love you gave that wasn't returned. And healing begins when you allow God to restore the places where people failed you. Loving people who do not love the same way can be one of life's quiet heartbreaks, but that experience does not have to define you. Instead, it can teach you something very, very important. It can teach you the difference between loving people and losing yourself trying to be loved. Healthy relationships exist, mutual love exists, and you deserve relationships where care flows in both directions, where you don't have to constantly prove your worth, where your presence is valued, not tolerated. As you heal, you begin to understand something powerful. The right people will not make you chase their love, they will meet you in it. So, thank you for spending this time with me today on the Healed Women's Nation podcast. If this conversation resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might need this. And remember this: your heart deserves spaces where love is mutual, safe, and honoring. Until next time, take care of your heart and continue working in your healing.